The Z51 package was referred to as a no-brainer add-on for the Corvette C8 by myself and so many others, but that was before we had a complete picture of what the performance would look like with the package added onto the vehicle. Now that some leaked stats and figures have come out for the Corvette C8's 0 to 60 time with and without the Z51 package, is it still a no-brainer? Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Downshift. I'm your host Nestor, and today we're going to be talking all about the Z51 package and ultimately seeing whether or not it's worth it now that we have a more complete picture of what the Z51 package will do to the vehicle. Let's start with the basics. The package costs $5,000 USD, which isn't terrible considering it costed the same amount on the Corvette C7. It comes with a total of about 8 or 9 features, all of which are tailored around getting the car as track ready as possible. Now it comes with a spoiler which provides downforce, bigger brake rotors for a lower stopping distance, an upgraded more stiff suspension for tighter cornering, a performance exhaust which adds 5 horsepower and 5 pound-feet of torque, a third radiator for the transmission, more sticky Michelin PS4 tires, and finally a lower gear axle ratio for a slightly quicker acceleration to 60 miles per hour. Now all of this sounds great, but the main reason why everyone thought the Z51 package was a bargain to begin with was because Corvette advertised the 0 to 60 time as being under 3 seconds with this package included. Now that's a very fast number for a car this cheap, so instinctually everyone assumed that the base model without this package would do 0 to 60 in a significantly higher time, such as 3.4 seconds or 3.5 seconds, which is still pretty damn quick for a car that costs this much money. But we were all kind of stunned when a leak on a forum showed pictures of all of the vehicle's specs and numbers were shocking. The Corvette without the Z51 package will do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat, and with the Z51 package it does 2.9 seconds. Seeing as how the 0 to 60 acceleration time is probably the most important figure right behind horsepower, this package seems a little bit underwhelming. It's not totally black and white, and you can't just say you're shaving off 0.1 seconds for $5,000 because there's a lot of things that go into the vehicle with this package, but in essence, it's kind of true, especially if you're not going to the track at all. So let's start with that very question right there. Are you going to track this vehicle? If the answer is yes a lot or yes often, then this package will be great for you and it's definitely worth it because it is track oriented. If the answer to the question is maybe time to time or once in a blue moon, then we really have to analyze the package more and see if it's worth it. Hopefully by the end of this video we can come to some sort of conclusion, or at least I can personally make a decision for myself when I'm purchasing my vehicle. First up, are you going to get the high wing spoiler that's installed by the dealership? If the answer is yes, then the spoiler that comes with the Z51 package will be redundant and basically collecting dust. Another question is, how often are you going to drive the car aggressively? If the answer is a lot, then the car's tires will need to be replaced not too far into the future, allowing you to then purchase a set of the Michelin PS4s that would have come standard with the car if you opted for the Z51 package. Those two things right there kind of cancel out the Z51 spoiler and tires, as you can get the same if not better via another route. Then comes the performance exhaust. This is something that really might not be worth the extra money simply because 5 horsepower and 5 torque is so small that it's likely perceived as simply a placebo. Lastly, the stiffer suspension may hinder your experience with the vehicle if you drive strictly on public roads and never track the vehicle. It may feel too stiff and leave you feeling uncomfortable. The two great things about the Z51 package though are the third rear mounted radiators for the transmission and the larger brakes, which improve stopping distance by about 7 feet from 60 to 0 miles per hour. These two features are in my opinion the two that stand out most, as having more cooling for the transmission is always a good thing and better brakes are simply self-explanatory. Lastly, without the Z51 package, this car's top speed is 10 miles per hour higher than with the Z51 package. This is due to the spoiler giving you drag as well as downforce. The top speed is dropped from 194 miles per hour to 184 miles per hour if you do get the Z51 package, or I assume the high wing spoiler. Now, to conclude, I just want to stress simply that this is just going to be my thought process for this package, and I understand that a lot of people's situation is different than mine, but I truly think that for me the Z51 package is really not going to be worth it. I may track the vehicle once or twice in the lifetime that I own it, and that simply isn't enough to warrant getting a track-oriented package. There were a lot of things that pushed me away from the Z51 package, but the one thing that did it the most is the fact that the 0 to 60 time with and without the Z50 package is so comparable. I mean, 0.1 seconds for $5,000 US. That's ridiculous to me. For somebody that's not going to track the package, this really doesn't make sense. And mind you, I live in Canada, so this Z51 package is likely going to cost me $6,500 to $7,000. And for a reduction from 3 seconds to 2.9 seconds, that simply just doesn't make any sense. Yes, it would be nice to have the bigger brake rotors and have a little bit better braking overall. It would be great to have a little bit more cooling on my transmission, and it definitely would be nice to have the Michelin PS4 tires stock on the car as soon as I pick it up from the dealership. But all of that is not worth 7,000 Canadian dollars in my opinion. I will be getting the high wing spoiler as soon as the vehicle arrives, and the dealer will be installing it, so there's really no point whatsoever for me to get this package. There's a lot of redundancies, and for the most part I'm not going to utilize a lot of these features because the car will not be tracked. That is just my opinion and my outlook on the situation. I'm personally going to save that $5,000, and who knows, maybe I can put that towards a Z06 Corvette C8 in the future. I think the real key to buying the Corvette C8 is getting it to as close to MSRP as possible, and the reason why I say this is because if you start adding on a lot of these options, you're gonna really just blow the price up, and it's gonna get to $70,000, $80,000, and of course if you do get a ton of packages on it, it's going to depreciate at a higher percentage than if you were to just stick with the MSRP. On top of that, the vehicle is scheduled, from what most people are saying online, to actually receive a significant price increase after the first year of production. So if I buy a Corvette at $60,000 flat and the price ends up going up in the later models, and you know all the other models that are selling have a lot of packages and options, they're going to be listed way higher than mine, so that will give me a lot of leverage, and I think the vehicle will not depreciate as quickly as anything else. Heck, this car might actually be the lowest depreciating sports car in all of 2020. Hold me accountable for that one right there, because I firmly believe that if you do not spend a dime over MSRP, this thing will not depreciate very much, simply because everybody in the world wants one of these right now. It's a mid-engine sports car that's affordable, and that alone is going to keep its price pretty healthy. But that is going to do it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you're somebody that is going to get the Corvette C8, what do you think of the Z51 package after hearing about the 0 to 60 times? Do you think it's still worth it, or are you going to switch sides and not put it on your order sheet? Thank you all once again for watching. If you enjoyed it, definitely drop a like as it helps support the channel. Subscribe for more daily Corvette and car videos, and we'll see you all in that next one. Peace.